Well, good morning. You're very welcome back to the channel. Today we are in County Down at Maghera Church and Round Tower. There's the modern church. Just behind it, that we'll see in a few moments, is the old church, and the Round Tower is this guy where we'll finish the video. So essentially, this beautiful place nestled in County Down, there's the Mourne Mountains there, just between Newcastle and Castlewellan, is a 1500-year-old monastic site that dates from the 6th century, and it was founded as a Christian worship place by Saint Donard in the 6th century, who himself was a follower of the more famous Saint Patrick from the earlier century of the 5th century. So come on with me as we walk around here. So it's fantastic that it's still a Christian witnessing place where the Church of Ireland, the Maghera parish community, meets to worship God. And we're just going to glance past the modern church. We're not going to spend too long on it. Essentially, this church that you can see, where the worshippers meet every week, is the modern parish church, and it was built in 1825 and was modified in 1861. It's still very much active. What this beautiful modern church is, it replaced the old parish church that we're walking to now, and the old parish church was built in Norman times in the 13th century. So let's just walk along here, walk the ancient paths. Here's the back of the church. Quite a straightforward Irish Anglican church, very picturesque, nestled just below the Mournes. So it's nearly 200 years old, but not as old as the previous building, which is this guy. So this guy is the old parish church. It was built in the 13th century, early Norman times, and you can see surrounded by a much older graveyard than the modern graveyard. In fact, all the graves, you can't really see the inscription. They're just so old. Maybe you want to pause the video and do some reading there. This reminds me of my friend Mark Porter. He's fantastic at reading the grave inscriptions on the church history trail if you want to follow him. But anyway, here's the old parish church. So what we'll do is we'll walk through. I'm sure that the people would have walked through in the centuries gone by. We'll just go down the steps here. And you can see that it was built with the old Mourne boulders. And as we'll walk through the ruins of this 13th century church, obviously the east and the south walls are not much left of them, really just the foundation. But we'll just climb up here. We'll go up here, over here, we'll look back, and you can see that the west gable wall and the north wall are still standing indeed, testament to the work of the builders, and no doubt they nabbed the granite from Mourne County. And we don't know exactly when this church fell into disrepair, but it is incredible to think that 900 years ago was built this wall and that wall, and you can see the height of them as well. They're actually a good bit taller than the modern church walls. So it must have been a very, very impressive building back in the 13th century. Now, of course, around the church here is the circular graveyard. And I've had a wee walk around, I've had a wee look, and there are indeed some very, very, very old graves, very hard to read. There's one on the south side which is a Norman cross, and then another which is a 13th century coffin lid acting as the grave marker. I'm sure that's an old crypt there, is it? Well, we'll walk around and see, is it? It must be a crypt, surely it is. Beautiful old graves here. You can see can see some kind of bricks and mortar and walling there. Obviously the drum is more recent. Tremendously overgrown. Oh, and this is interesting. This is a very old grave because you can see that this is one of the Norman crosses that I mentioned that signifies how old the grave is. Well, there's actually a few more eligible reading ones. There's one from 1873. Blessed are those who die, who are the dead in the Lord, for they shall rise again, says the Bible. There's another old crypt there. There's some beautiful inscriptions. There's another Norman cross. So there again, there's the modern church. There's the medieval church dating from the 13th century, built with the beautiful mourn boulders. Of course, the west gable and the north walls are still standing. We've got a circular graveyard all around here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to head to the oldest still standing building, being the Round Tower. Now this is the real attraction of this site because, as I said at the very beginning of the video, this is a 1500-year-old monastic site. Dates back from the 6th century, founded by Saint Donard in the generation after Saint Patrick. And it's believed that Saint Donard essentially established 2 Christian places of worship or meditation or whatever you want to call it. And he established this place here at Maghera on ground level. And if you've ever climbed to the top of the tallest mountain in Northern Ireland, that being the well-named Slieve Donard, which is just there behind the clouds. At the very top you'll have seen a cairn, and they say around the time of St. Donard in the 6th century he established his other site of Christian worship and meditation, his other monastic site. And of course we've got Slieve Donard named after St. Donard. So St. Donard established the church here. This one would have been built in the 13th century, around 800 years after he died. I'm sure there was older churches, so at least there must be 3. This is the modern one, that's the older one, and then there would be another one, no doubt dating back to his time. And then also at the very, very top, St. Donard is said to have established a Christian witness at the summit. So let's just leave the old church. You see that one there, the tree has done a little bit of damage to that there one. Although it's quite readable actually. Well, the person died at 73 years of age. Can't quite see it. Anyway, so what we'll do is we'll finish the video as we just go on over here and we see the impressive Round Tower. So there it is there, it's just coming into sight. So this Round Tower here is dating from the 10th century, and it wouldn't have been the first one. It would have been a later one, but even still a 10th century tower still standing today in 2023 is pretty impressive. And to have had a round tower in the diocese of Down signified essentially, better close this gate here or I'll be in trouble. There we go. Essentially having a round tower meant that this was an important Christian place, and it would have had its own bishop. So I'm sure St. Donard was seen as the first bishop here in this area. Anyway, so the Round Tower was 10th century, so you know that's 1200 years old. Very wet here, but I'll go over here and wet my feet for you. And I'm sure as a round tower it stood high in the sky to signify to the local worshippers to come to church, or maybe it was a defence tower, I don't know. But having a round tower meant that that site was so important as a Christian worship place that they would have had their own bishop. And in 1710 there was a tremendously great storm that caused the falling over of much of the tower. and that just leaves the stump that we can enjoy and look at today. So the stump is about 6 meters tall. Beautiful, beautiful tower. Look at that. You can see the Mourne granite boulders that would have made up that 3 or 4 feet thick walls of the tower. I wonder, can you get in, or is it just go around it here? I don't know if I'm going to be able to get in. I don't think I can. I don't know if there was ever a door here. I think it was maybe just the window at the top there. Yeah. So I can't get in. What I'll do is I'll put the camera in, and you can see there all the way around, you can see the beautiful archway. I don't know if that was acting as a window or if there was a door or if there was a ramp, but absolutely beautiful to see the round tower here. So what a beautiful round tower dating from the 10th century. So a 10th century round tower. We've got the modern church built in 1825, and then you've got the old parish church there just in the distance above that shed behind that tree there that we enjoyed earlier in the video. So it's absolutely wonderful to be here today in County Down, overlooking the site where St. Donard himself founded as an early monastic site. So he founded this lovely, beautiful place as a Christian monastic site on ground level, on sea level, and then just in the distance at the very top of St. Donard, he established his other monastic site in the 6th century. So I hope very much you enjoyed this channel. I'm trying to do a video like this, or something somewhat interesting to show Northern Ireland and other places that I visit. If you enjoyed the channel, if you enjoyed the video, do please feel free to subscribe and follow the journey along. Wherever you are today, I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks.